It's time for a death battle!
Rewritten.
Like with Thor, Norse champion of Asgard and son of Odin.
And Shazam, the literal boy-turned-hero of the Justice League.
The mighty Thor.
Thor spent most of his life living among his people and defending his realm from its enemies.
And he was good at it, like really good. He's their tank and DPS all rolled into one when it comes to raiding other realms. And boy, does he look the part. This guy is 6 feet 6 inches of pure muscle, and possibly lead because he somehow weighs 640 pounds.
Thor was trained by the best in Asgard and has proven his mettle across multiple worlds. He helped found the Avengers and has defeated everything from giants to demons to other gods.
As a real-life god, Thor is super strong, super fast, and super durable. And even on those rare occasions when he does get hurt, he patches up real quick with his healing factor.
And of course, being the god of thunder lets him control lightning and even the earth itself.
But Thor isn't complete without his iconic arsenal. He wears the Belt of Strength, which doubles his already impressive might, and he swings around the most awesome tiny little hammer you've ever seen.
Mjolnir is an ancient weapon. 65 million years ago, it was forged by dwarves by harnessing a star. Its construction was so intense, it caused the star to explode, and its fiery remains eradicated the dinosaurs.
Talk about metal!
Speaking of metal, Mjolnir is forged from Uru, an extremely durable iron-like ore that is highly susceptible to enchantment. Mjolnir in particular is enchanted to house a cosmic storm powerful enough to shake black holes. And yes, the wielders of Mjolnir can access the storm's powers, including levitation and control over weather.
I've never wanted anything so bad in my life.
Unfortunately, only those the hammer deems worthy can actually wield it, or even pick it up for that matter. You must be pure of heart and noble of mind, or else it won't even budge.
Well, lucky for Thor, he's worthy of adding Mjolnir's awesome power to his own. And with their powers combined, nothing can stop him.
Thor has easily tagged Quicksilver, who at his best can run around 670 million miles per hour. And Thor can move even faster than that when his hammer is dragging him around.
Yeah, that's a thing. Thor doesn't really fly on his own in the same way people like Superman or Captain Marvel do. Instead, he literally chucks his hammer as hard as he can and hangs on for dear life as it takes him for a ride.
Thor has said Mjolnir is fast enough to reach the edge of the universe in 60 seconds. This means it can travel at least 350 trillion miles per hour, or over 500,000 times the speed of light.
Don't let go, Goldilocks. Hitting pavement at that speed might hurt even you.
Yeah, he'd be fine. He can withstand a dip in the sun, where it can be over 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. And while he was knocked unconscious, he did survive a bomb capable of planet busting, equal to a force of over 53 quadrillion megatons of TNT.
I'm more impressed that he lifted this giant-ass snake. Look at that thing.
The Midgard serpent is massive, capable of wrapping around the entire Earth twice. It stretches nearly 900 miles wide and 50,000 miles long. By comparing it to the largest living snakes, the 550-pound green anaconda, we can estimate the Midgard serpent weighs about 17 trillion tons.
Hold on, Wiz. I know my snakes, and it looks like that Midgard serpent is actually constricting the Earth. By squeezing prey, a snake can apply pressure 16 times its normal weight. So Thor didn't just lift a really heavy snake, he outmatched 272 trillion tons of force.
That is correct, Boomstick.
Goddamn right it is.
It is important to stress the unbelievable power Thor possesses. So much so that in fights with other godly beings, whole worlds can shatter. If it ever comes to it, he can even enter a state of warrior's madness. While he loses some control doing this, his power increases tenfold.
Why did we put this guy up against Rewritten again?
Well, Thor's cocky attitude has put him in all kinds of trouble. He's even lost Mjolnir's power more than once as a result.
Yeah, the hammer isn't invulnerable, and if Thor's holding on to it, its enchantment can even be tricked. Like that one time the Hulk used his own hammer against him by moving his arm. Why, you hit yourself!
So to teach Thor a lesson in humility, Odin banished him to Earth, transforming him into a handicapped human.
You call that a handicap? That's a limp. I'm over here with a friggin' shotgun for a leg, and I'm not even allowed to park in those special parking spaces.
Still, it turns out sending Thor to Earth was all part of Odin's plan to alter the cycle of Ragnarok, as such a thing had never been done before. And it worked! 4,000 years after the previous Ragnarok, Armageddon was stopped for good, and the gods were free. All thanks to Thor, and a giant time-traveling floating sentient eyeball, but mostly Thor.
Can't make this stuff up.
I accept your surrender.
I'm Captain Marvel! Until they changed that shit because of Marvel Comics.
Long story short, Captain Marvel was originally conceived not by DC or Marvel, but by Fawcett Comics as a competitor for Superman.
Yeah, DC didn't like that, so they killed off the Captain in the courtroom and took the character for themselves.
Then Marvel Comics showed up 20 years later and had a similar legal battle with MF Enterprises.
Motherfucking Enterprises? Damn, they beat me to it.
Well, good news, because apparently they forgot how copyright works and tried to make their own Captain Marvel.
Theirs had the power to pop his head off, and that's about it. He's stupid. Let's move on.
With that, Captain Marvel had two owners. Marvel owned the name, but DC owned the character. And so began a cold legal war, with both companies silently daring the other to cross the line.
Till DC decided, screw it, let's call him Shazam.
As Shazam, Billy gains a wide variety of impressive powers, including the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the lightning of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury.
And the body of legal drinking age!
Each of these ancient beings granted their own capabilities to Shazam. The wisdom of Solomon gave him a perfect memory and the ability to magically gain any knowledge he needs to know.
So, it's like a smartphone with internet access.
Sure.
The strength of Hercules makes him super strong, obviously, and with the lightning of Zeus, he got awesome electric powers.
Zeus himself once channeled the power to defeat the Shattered God, a being only previously slain by the Big Bang.
I slayed your mom with the Big Bang.
Shazam also gained accelerated healing, a shortcut to the Rock of Eternity, and the ability to share his powers with anyone he considers family, like his adoptive sister. I suppose he eventually found himself a home after all, huh?
Aw, that's touching. But back to cool superpowers! With the courage of Achilles, he became tough enough to survive in space and even take on Superman himself!
And with the speed of Mercury, he can fly as well as move faster than light.
Hey, wait a minute! Solomon, Hercules, Atlas? The first letters come together to spell Shazam!
Yep.
Haha, and you say I don't pay attention to stuff.
Despite Billy's often sour attitude thanks to, well, homelessness, he always dreamed of rising up and becoming a hero. As Shazam, he wound up being so good at hero work, he joined the Justice League. Though he did keep the truth of his powers a secret, as Superman would probably think twice about sending a 15-year-old into an active combat zone.
You gotta learn sometime, right? Plus, he's super powerful, able to stand up against all sorts of aliens, monsters, and gods. He's fast enough to transform and dodge a bullet all in one move, and even outran the Flash, racing around the world at speeds even Superman doubted he could match. That's right, Shazam is faster than frickin' Superman.
Superman can perceive time and react down to the femtosecond. For Flash and Shazam to exceed this in one run around the Earth, they must be moving more than 133 trillion times faster than light.
Yeah, that's cool and all, but how about the time he punched so hard he started a black hole out of nowhere? He's tough enough to shrug off Superman's punches, survive planet-bursting shots from the Void Hound, and even a bomb that turned his whole body inside out. What the fuck?
That's the Tesseract bomb, and Shazam's magic was powerful enough to pull himself back together without much issue. So technically not a straight durability feat, but still, a device that turns things inside out? Delightful! It's so fascinating I had to replicate it for myself.
The hell is that?
If my calculations are correct, this should mimic the space-bending reversal effects of the Tesseract bomb, turning any object inside out. Hey, wait, I haven't tested.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
However, even with all Shazam's might, he is still 15-year-old Billy Batson. His time and experience hardly compares to other members of the Justice League, and his headstrong immaturity can't help but slip out every now and then.
Hey, Blackheart the Death Eater, or whatever your World of Warcraft name is, suck on this!
Wiz, it's gotta be super hard going back and forth in that hormone hurricane.
Yet distractions and adversaries aren't enough to stop this Cape Crusader. He may be the ultimate power fantasy incarnate, but he's also exactly what he'd hoped he'd be, a hero.
You know, you've never been any good against magic, and magic's what I'm all about.
Shazam! The winner is Shazam.